Leo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid October 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in energy and see what's happening for the lovely Leo collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Leos in mid October? Lovely time of year. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, and we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Leo mid-October. What's the vibe? What's the energy for our good friends? Please, let's get this first card out nice and quick. There we go. Very watery for some reason. It's sleepy, it's dreamy, it's imaginative, and it could be really great. This is something that you could really, shift and use for your benefit, but at the same time, it could be trapped in the head a little bit. Again, this could be someone else. It doesn't necessarily have to be you. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the October subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So the imagery is very intriguing to me. You see this lady, she's kind of like hunched up. Maybe she's doing yoga, maybe she's meditating. The background is super etheric. She has this clock, but the numbers are kind of flying off of it. It feels like a dream. So again, for some of you, maybe you're not sleeping too well. Maybe you're having some really funky dreams. Maybe you're sleeping very light. I would say if you are having some vivid, funky dreams, pay close attention to them, because you could be in some like subconscious detail, or your guides could be trying to tell you something. But to me, it's just very water sign-esque, where there's just like a lot going on in the mind. Now, the good thing about that, creative pursuits, creative endeavors, whether it's writing, whether it's art, anything where you're expressing yourself, highly favored here. Or maybe for some of you, that's something you need to do, whatever it might be. You might have a buildup of emotional energy that you just need to express outward. But this card could be very much overthinking, where it's like I'm thinking so much that I'm thinking things into existence, or I'm thinking so much that it's like these situations are not realistic. So just watch out for the overdwelling and overthinking or ruminating when we see this card. Again, it could be somebody else, but I like the creative aspects. But we're going to let her chill. We're not going to disturb. She could keep doing what she's doing. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Leos. What's happening, please? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled An Explosive Change. To me, it was very fiery. Now, a lot of Leos could deal with fire energy. You're adaptable. You could deal with change. But this one just felt very rapid. Now, for some of you, that's a good thing. Maybe there's a situation where, there's a new dynamic. There's a new way to look at it. This shift actually worked out in my benefit. But for another portion of you, maybe it was something out of your hands, or maybe it was just something that the speed at which it moved was like kind of making you uncomfortable. So watch out for that energy. It could bleed over for a couple weeks, but we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you, because we can be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Leo mid-October. Maybe we'll get a totally different energy here this week. What do we got for our good friends? Okay. Okay. 5 of Swords, huh? Who is this? Now, this can be good sometimes. I guess it depends on what's surrounding it, but that's a bit of an aggressive card. Let's get a couple more. Totally opposite. Totally opposite. So we have the Knight of Cups. Let's get one more here. These energies are like on complete different extremes of the spectrum. And then we have the Sword of Truth right here on the back end. There could be something where it's like I'm walking a very fine line here. That's like kind of a vibe I'm picking up here, but it's going to be intriguing to see how this plays out. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always like to look at the elements first. Now, luckily, most of the elements in this are actually elements that you could work pretty damn well with. We have lots of swords with the 5 of Swords, the Ace of Swords. Now, swords represent the logical mind. So with that first card, we had that dreamy type of vibe. This is more cut and dry, a little more logical. It's strategic, it's plan based. It speaks about logical thinking, big with communication. There's a lot of communicating going on here. So messages, talks, how you express yourself could be super important, especially with the swords and the cards as well. Then we have water in the center, which is softer, right? So whereas this energy, the swords, is very cut and dry. It is what it is. It's very logical, pragmatic. This one is a little more creative. So that softer energy that we were seeing in the very beginning with the water here, the realm of creation, the realm of imagination, love, romance, like the softer side. But the one thing that they all share is that they're internal, right? Like we have like the heart and the mind, and it's all the internal world. So there's a lot going on the inside here. But let's go through this piece by piece and really start to build it out. Position number one, we start with the Five of Swords. Pretty aggressive. I already told you that. But we see this individual chilling here. He's got all the swords in his arms. These people look like they just got the tar kicked out of them. They're all battered and bruised back there. And this guy's victorious. Now, the good thing about the Five of Swords is that it is determined. If it wants a result, if it wants something, it will get it one way or another. This energy has zero quit. So maybe it's advice for some of you from Spirit, like, all right, don't give up on it quite yet, Leo. Or maybe there's something you want to fight for. But this card does also have a laundry list of potential complications. As I already mentioned, this could represent aggression. This could represent conflict. This could represent anger or someone being mad. Like there's just an energy that's butting heads when we see this. So we want to keep a close eye. It's a card of someone doing what's right for them. There's nothing wrong with acting in self-interest. A lot of times you should do what's best for you, but sometimes this card could tip the scales into someone that is very egotistical or very selfish in their own ways. So watch out for any individuals like that in this time. We'll circle back and see if this is a good one or a rough one. Now, as we get him tucked in by the amethyst, hopefully that crystal will calm him down a little bit. We have our good friend, the Knight of Cups. As I already mentioned, the total opposite of what we got going on here. Now, this could be a water sign you're connected to, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. If that's not the case, I always say Knights represent movement, action, communication, right? They're messengers, they're big talkers. And this one moves at the right speed. So it's not too aggressive, it's not too slow, it's not too fast, it's just right. This is a card that kind of fits perfection. If we're talking about the personality traits of someone, this could be someone that's a smooth talker, someone that likes peace and harmony, someone that's like extremely reassuring, a Prince Charming archetype when we see the Knight of Cups. But there's a downside to him as well. Sometimes this card, especially in the reverse form, could represent emotional suppression, somebody pushing something down. I don't want to say emotional manipulation. I'm not going to go that route just yet. But the Knight of Cups can make someone feel bad for them. So watch out for anyone playing off your sympathies in this time when this card is here. But it's good. As I mentioned, we have this like hard as stone energy here in the front, and then we have the softer approach. So they're two totally different vibes. So I'm not sure if one of these is an energy you're bringing forward, and one is another person. Who knows? We're gonna have to see. Moving to the back end, we have the Sword of Truth. Now, it does have some of the same drawbacks as this Five of Swords, but I tend to really like this. I love all aces. They all represent offers and opportunities. They're big cards of communication. So notice we have the messenger, we have the communication. So there could be something centered around a talk or a message that we'll want to explore further. But this is the Sword of Truth for a reason. This is a card that's intelligent. It knows something. It knows the truth about something, where it's like, listen, I'm looking at this clearly. So if there's anything that you've kind of been in dark about or something that hasn't been making sense, this card is like, oh no, you could see the truth here, Leo, or you will in the short term. As far as communication goes, this is straightforward to the point, no nonsense. So it could be a serious type of conversation, potentially. But I don't think it's a bad thing. It's kind of like the blend of these two. So maybe there is a situation where it's like, all right, you don't want to be too soft, but you definitely don't want to be too aggressive. There is a way to walk that fine line. Or there is a situation where there's a very fine line. I want to dive deeper on all of it, Leo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. What's happening for my lovely Leos? Yeah, the card's already trying to jump out of my hands. What is happening? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation. I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Five of Swords. What's this aggression about? Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Leo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Five of Swords. What is happening with this Five of Swords? Okay. This could be an energy that's really difficult to work with. Sometimes where you're trying to solve an issue, you're trying to solve a problem, and someone just like shoots it down, where it's like, nope, that doesn't work. Nope, that doesn't work. Watch out for anyone that is very much set in their ways, where it's like, nope, it's my way or the highway. Nope, you don't get a choice. Yeah, this is a little bit of a rough one. This could also be someone that's like a little angry or pissed. So if that's not someone else, just watch your temper in this time, because there could be certain things where it's like, okay, uh, you know what, you don't want any of these options, then you get no options. It's like that kind of vibe. Uh, I don't want to say it's spiteful, but it is an energy I want to keep a very close eye on. Hopefully, this is something from the past. Now, the Seven of Cups, usually in the upright, it's a card of options, choices, paths. Um, Again, very creative and daydreamy, similar to this Knight, similar to the Oracle card. But to me, it's like I have a menu in front of me and I get to choose. When I see it in reverse, especially under an aggressive card like this, either one, it is someone that is upset, angry, or mad, someone that is very, very difficult to work with, where it's like, you're not leaving me many options here. So I would say watch out if anyone around you fits that bill, because this energy just seems very difficult. That's like the big vibe I'm picking up. Um, for some of you, I mean, maybe it is time to act in self interest with something as well, where it's like, all right, you leave me no choice. Let's keep moving. Let's see what the Knight of Cups has. So a little aggressive there. Again, watch out for people that just shoot things down. Like if there is a problem or a situation you're dealing with, it's like, all right, well, why won't you take this option? Why won't you like this? Someone's not willing to negotiate or bend too. Let's keep going. Very odd. So why is the Knight of Cups here? Maybe we'll get a totally different vibe. So what's happening with the Knight of Cups? Okay. Could be a mask of some sort. Okay, so we do have the Hermit, which is usually retracted, pulled back, big Virgo energy. For a lot of Leos, hopefully there's not something that's been weighing on you for a while that you're not really discussing with many people, where it's like, oh, there's something I want to say, but I don't know if I can, I don't know if I should. This shows me some sort of suppression going on. Now, we will see when we get to this Ace of Swords. Maybe there is some sort of communication breakthrough that is very possible. But when I see the Knight of Cups with the Hermit, it's like, I don't want to say how I feel. I don't want to share that. It's a very private type of energy. So it could be someone masking a little bit. You know how sometimes where people act aggressive, but they're actually really sad? It's like one of those where it's like, I'm really depressed. I'm really sad, but I'm going to act in it. I almost cursed. I'm going to act in a very aggressive, not nice type of way. The Hermit, yeah, I mean, we passed Virgo season if you're not connected to him. Remember, it's just retracted, pulled back, a little secretive. So, like secret feelings, hidden feelings, we're all up in that realm. So, whether it's you or somebody else. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of emotional suppression, but at the same time, I'm a realist and I know there's a time and a place for things. So, maybe there is something where it's like, all right, well, maybe let things cool down. Like, let's keep moving. Let's see what's up. This person's holding back for a reason. So let's go in on the Ace of Swords. We'll do that. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So I would say the energy this week, it's not the worst. It's not the best. I'm feeling kind of neutral. I guess it depends on what you're going through. But let's see why the Ace of Swords is here. What is this about? Because maybe we'll have a breakthrough moment, hopefully. Why's the Ace of Swords here? Thank you. Yeah, pick your spots. Okay, this could most definitely be a talk or a conversation. It feels a little surprising to me, because there's like a plan behind it. It's strategized, and someone that's picking their spots. Where it's like, all right, well, I can't do it now. Can't do it now. When they see the opening, that's how it feels to me. Because listen, the Page of Swords is the watcher of the tarot deck. It's very defensive type of energy. So again, air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But this Page of Swords, um, to me, with the Ace of Swords, it's like, no, I will pick the time and place. I will pick my spots properly. So again, if it's not a surprising or unexpected talk, which it can be, Because when we go from this energy where it's like nothing's happening, nothing's being discussed, to this, it's kind of like somebody testing the temperature. You know, when you're about to go swimming, you dip your toe in water to see how cold it is. There could be someone testing the temperature, picking their spots. It's like extremely planned how someone is bringing this conversation up. And it could be for a reason. It could definitely be for a reason here, but this person's really watching their words with this Page of Swords. So those are the main things I'm picking up on the back end. Yeah, it could be. Does it feel like it's going to go wild and go out of hand? No, because to me, it's like this person picked this time or this topic for a reason. They're picking their shots, picking their spots. Very calculated. But let's go through and do a quick little recap, then we'll get into the shadow. So a lot of stuff going on here. Again, I'm not sure if it's yours or somebody else's. I guess mileage may vary, but if you kindly look in the box here, position number one, we start with the Five of Swords, Seven of Cups in reverse. This energy feels pretty difficult to work with. So again, maybe there's a situation where it's like maybe you should handle it yourself, or like just stay in your lane, because this energy is just really difficult to work with. It's like doesn't matter what I bring up or what options I present. It's like always getting shot down. This could also be someone that's like very angry, mad, upset in their ways. It's like completely shut down because of it. So not the nicest. Moving to the middle, we have the Knight of Cups with the Hermit. So again, secret feelings, hidden feelings, suppression of feelings. Um, and could be someone that feels like they're walking on eggshells. So watch that type of energy in this time as well, where it's like, oh, I want to say something, but I don't want to set them off. Moving to the back end, we have the Ace of Swords with the Page of Swords. So to me, this did feel more of like a surprising or unexpected talk, but there's strategy behind it, where it's like, I'm just going to pick my spots. I'm going to pick the right time. Because this time might not be right. This time might not be right, but I will address this at some point. And it can be serious in nature too. Very calculating on the back. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. It could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. Oh, and yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this card out here. What do we got for the Leos? Okay, there we go. I'll take it. Queen of Wands. That's one of your power cards. I like this in the shadows for you. I mean, you might be connected to another fire sign if we're seeing her, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but she represents how someone looks at themselves and how someone feels about themselves. So if you've been down for a while and this shows up in the shadows, that's a good thing, because you might start feeling like you're getting back to normal. This is like level up type of energy. It could deal with looks, aesthetics, how we present ourselves to the world. So this can be great. But for another portion of you, aside from the self concept, be kind to yourself when we see her. Don't beat yourself up. Don't put like too much blame on your own shoulders. Don't blame yourself for things that aren't yours to carry. I think that's really important. And I know tons of beautiful Leos in my personal life, and that is something that a lot of Leos actually do. They blame themselves for others' actions or others' things, or they just carry weight that's not theirs. So try your best in this time not to do that if possible. I know it's easier said than done, right? But we're just going to put that Queen of Wands down right there. It can be great, as I mentioned, getting your groove back. But yeah, Leo, that's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The October subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation and book a personal reading with me, you could check out my digital calendar on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The October schedule is up there and it's filling up quick. So if you want to have a little chat, go over there and check it out. But for the October subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of the most stunning decks I've ever experienced, the Star Tarot. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments. Since last month, I asked everybody which zodiac sign they get along best with. This month, out of all the zodiac signs, which one do you clash with a little bit there? Drop it down in the comments. You'll be entered to win. And the winners will be announced in the community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.